that boom. Drop that boom.
Episode 7 of Drop That Boom. And I'll be honest with y'all, today...
is this episode 7?
Episode 7.
Coming over here, I saw 3 7s.
7 is the holiest number in the Bible. Not being
Number
funny.
of completion.
7 is the perfect number. The world,
Actually,
seventh day
completion.
God rested. There's 7 candlestands on the candelabra. 7 is the number.
Yep.
For some people, 7 marriages. But we're going to leave that there.
Lord help them. That's
But
all
look,
I
I'm actually excited today because I made a friend a couple months ago, which I've been to his store since I've probably been, literally 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Bought 1,000 things from there. Have the opportunity every week to spend some time with him at a little game that we do, a little card game that we play for fun. We all hang out. And so it's a great guy. He's got a great family. Got to know him. And the greatest thing about it is, if you're from a small town, which we all are, he has the oldest business in our town. So he has the oldest business in Wendell. So we're bringing in Glenn Bridgers of Bridgers Coal and Farm Supply.
Yep. And how long has it been there?
How long?
Since 1922. That'd be
Oh, wow.
104 years.
104, 105 years.
Yep.
1922. That's
Yeah.
when they had like the sock hops and stuff, right?
Yeah.
1922. What was going on in 1922? It wasn't the sock hop. That's 1950.
Well, weren't you around in 1930,
1920
baby?
Ronnie, please. I wish I was. Actually, I really did grow up in the wrong
No,
era.
that was the Depression.
I
You don't
think
want to be around.
22 was the Depression,
That's the Depression.
or
Right
recovery
after-
right
from
after
it.
World War One.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so to have a
Yep.
business.
To start a business during the Depression.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
now, since you mentioned that about my World War One, my grandfather that started Bridgers Coal Company was actually in World War One.
Really?
He was a soldier that was in Germany at the Hindenburg Line.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
he actually was one of a few soldiers that broke the Hindenburg Line.
Are
And
you
this is,
serious?
And this is all in the history books.
That was one of the most dangerous places to be during that time.
He
if you
thought
read
it was a death sentence when
No, I
he
mean, I'm
got his
saying,
orders.
like nobody, they didn't expect
Yeah.
anybody to come back from that.
Nobody came back.
They didn't expect anybody to.
And so without him making it back, I wouldn't be here today.
So he's one of the only few to make it back.
He had a good friend that spoke German, and the Germans were tired, and they were tired, and he just yelled out, "We got the whole American army surrounding you." And he said one by one they came out, and there was a couple of hundred Germans that came out, and these few soldiers, I think it was 7, I could be off a couple, marched them back in, and he was one of the ones,
Marched in a whole army.
a whole army.
What
But
a
he's
story.
that not
He
crazy?
wouldn't talk about it much. He
That-
talked about it very little, but he said none of them had had any food for weeks. They'd had water. None of them.
They were all, I love history. And honestly, World War I, World War II, man, I've done so much studying. Because my granddaddy was in World War II. My daddy was in Nam, did 3 tours. But I love history. And I know that line very well because there was 2 places where American soldiers just ran out and just died. And that was the beach, Normandy. And I mean, they just slaughtered them like cows, pigs. And then the Hindenburg Line. That was the
Hindenburg Line.
2 places where if you went, it was a 95% chance you were staying right where you were. So and he comes back and opens the business
He comes back and opens business.
right after or during the
and
Depression.
got married, and
And that's how you came about.
well, eventually.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
that,
He
that,
down
that
the
line,
line.
that,
That's right.
because had he not come back, then you wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
Wow.
So Bridgers has a lot more history than I even realized.
Yeah.
So he comes back sometime in 1920s, probably 2021. He opens Bridgers Coal Supply.
Do you
Bridgers
know-
Coal Yard.
Okay.
So what was
So-
it then?
Yeah, what that's what I was going to say. What was it? What was his objective?
He supplied coal, and there was several homes, businesses. There were several different kinds of coal. There's big lump coal. There's stoker coal. There's briquettes.
There's
and-
coal like you get in your Christmas stocking.
And there's different uses for each kind. And he was a supplier of each.
Now, I didn't know there was different kinds of coal. I'm not trying to be funny.
I didn't either.
I mean, I've seen big coal and I've seen
Yeah.
little briquettes, but I
Yeah.
didn't know there were several kinds. So each one had a different usage.
Different usage.
Okay.
And we used to as a kid, I can remember going to the Wendell Baptist Church, and they had a chute, and you stand in the back of the pickup truck, and you'd shovel the coal down the chute, and it would fall down into the basement where the boiler was, and that's how they heated.
That's how they heated the church.
That's how they heated the church.
So that's the same.
And we did that at several other businesses.
So that's the same coal you would use in a train at that time.
Same coal.
Yeah, because they'd always throw it in there to make the locomotive move.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's how he started. Well, here's the thing I don't understand, and it's just, supply and demand. I get it, but all the coal I've ever seen has come from the mountains, especially West Virginia mountains, stuff like that.
That's where it comes from.
So he would have it shipped in here, and then he would distribute it by rail, and he would have it distributed out into the local towns.
Now,
Smart.
when he moved to our current location, somewhere in the late 40s or early 50s, the business started. It was down the railroad track a little bit.
Okay.
He built a wooden trestle that they would roll these train cars onto, and then they'd back the trucks up under it. They'd open the bottom of the coal car, and the coal would run out into the truck, and then they would close the door, and they didn't have to shovel it into the truck, except the wooden trestle collapsed the first time that day.
No, too much weight.
Train rolled over into the lot, and from there he built a concrete
Right there
trestle
to your business.
at my business.
So people don't realize it. So if you come to Wendell, if you come to Lizard Lick, which Lizard Lick's in Wendell. But if you come to Lizard Lick and you go to Wendell, Bridger's Coal and Farm Supply literally has a train tracks running through the very front of it. So that's what Glenn's talking about, is that's where they would bring the stuff in. So you're telling me a train turned over right there in front of the coal supply place. How did they get that mug back up? Because, there weren't no Lizard Lick records back then.
And there wasn't no cranes. I don't know how they did it.
How much weight is that? That's crazy. Wow. I had no idea.
The cars that we would get were 100 tons of coal per car. The car itself weighed maybe 50 tons. And, the engine that would weigh probably 4 times that much. So it was a lot of weight.
Wow.
I don't know how they would ever have picked it up.
I don't either.
Sometimes I think the same about your backside. I don't know how in the world you walk around with that thing. I really don't. But
Oh, you poor thing. You just love to watch me walk away.
I hate to see you leave, but I do love to watch you walk away. Being
Yeah.
married, I can say that.
Absolutely.
But I had no idea. So it all started here. This man here. What was your granddad's name?
His name was A.O. Bridgers. That
A.O.
stood for Alvin Orris.
So here he comes back from the war, opens up a coal. Literally, and I'm not being funny. That was like the original Amazon. Like, bring it in, distribute it. That's Amazon's whole platform is that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
like we had the original Amazon in Lizard Lick. Just so y'all know, Jeff Bezos was not the founder. A.O. was. A.O. was the founder. So he's got this coal supply thing going. He gets married, I'm assuming. Has some children. How many?
He had 3 children. My father Shelton was the youngest.
Okay. And had 2 siblings.
He had a brother and a sister.
They all work in the business? Or?
No, my uncle worked in Texas. He was in the hotel business.
Okay.
And then Daddy's sister, she didn't work. She just,
Well, back then,
raised
a
family.
lot of women didn't work, though.
That's right.
That wasn't uncommon. Women raised the house, the men run the business, and
That's right.
that's, back then you almost had to have that. Well, that's where the saying comes from, it takes a village to raise a child, though, because we all had to have help.
Absolutely.
Yep. So so he's got the business going. He's got brothers and sisters. They're apparently not in the business.
That's correct.
So your dad was the only one that stayed in the business.
He was the one that wanted to come back to run the business.
So how did the farming start?
That Daddy brought the farming into the company in the late 50s. In the 50s, coal was being phased out. And so Daddy decided that he would bring farming supplies in because farming was in very high demand in that period of time. And so from the 50s to the 90s was when he ran the business.
So he ran that through Nam, Korean conflict. All these other wars that we have. And I know back then farming was really big because we had to feed the troops. And so, I see a lot of things where these farmers really, if it wasn't for the farmers, we couldn't have kept our troops going, because you just said in World War I and II, that they couldn't feed, the Germans couldn't feed their own people because we cut off supply lines. So that's how important the food and stuff was. And I don't think people realize that. I honestly think the food was as important as bullets. So without our farmers, we wouldn't have it. So we go 50 to 90s. So he's running farm. So at this time, by now, you're in the farm.
I was selling insurance for Farm Bureau for a few years.
Were you really?
And then I came back into the business in 91, and I've been running it ever since.
Since 91.
91.
And you have brothers and sisters?
I have one brother.
One brother, and he didn't. Does he?
He didn't have any interest in doing
No
it.
interest. Okay.
No, he
Which
went,
is-
he was
you-
in the computer business.
Okay.
Seriously?
Which is really weird. You know, when you got siblings, most of the time, that's what happens. One wants to do something, maybe the parents did. The rest of them, they're like, I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, and I commend Glenn and his family for this because I get to spend time with him and two of his boys and one of his daughters every week. But it's hard to work with family.
Oh, it's very
It's hard.
I can
It's
contest to
hard
that.
to work for family. I mean, we've
Yes,
been
I
through
can.
it. So to see them stay together and kind of grow the business is impressive because most families won't make it there.
You see the part that we are together. You don't
Yeah, I
see the
know.
part that we're not.
I know there's turmoil and stuff, but the fact that all these years that they've stayed together, and Timmy, so Glenn has how many kids?
4 children.
4 children, and you said one is so Ben works at the farm and the store. Timmy works at the store, and then Lori, she's like the little love child that everybody just wants to be sweet to. We all love her, and then you have an older daughter. Oh, well, not the oldest daughter, but Morgan, and she works for the state. Now, Glenn, you told me earlier that people don't want to see Morgan.
She works for the prosecuting leg of the state, and you do not want to meet her. She's tough.
Ooh, I like that. Glenn's like, I got it covered.
That means she's bold, confident, and she ain't gonna take no junk.
That's right.
My kind of person.
But, it's just impressive that 2 of your boys stayed I'm being honest, in the business because none of my kids want to be in our business,
No.
which I don't want them to be.
Yeah,
But
I don't
none
either.
of our children want to be in towing.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
I mean, I don't either, but I'm saying, usually you want one to come in and just kind of take over one day.
I mean, I can't hardly stand it. Gabe's working there over the summer, and he about to make me pull all my hair out. I swear.
Well, I feel like mine have done that to me several times. That's why I keep my hat on.
I know I just got mine dyed, or it would be gray. I'm not gonna lie.
I told her the other day, I said, you got something in your hair? She's like, get it out. I said, I can't, it's gray. Yeah, she didn't like that very much, Glenn. She,
He's got dad jokes.
y'all sell any hair dye at Bridger's Farm Supply?
Pond dye.
Pond dye?
It would make your hair blue.
Hey, you want some blue hair?
It looked perfect on you, buddy. It looked perfect on you.
And that's something, and I'll be
Those
honest, that's something
highlighted
else I didn't
glasses.
realize till I started playing cards with Glenn is what they sold. So, like,
Okay, yeah.
they're a one-stop, and I'll be honest, they're a one-stop shop. Like, Glenn's diversified, or the whole company's diversified about everything. If you need it, it's got anything to do with farming or agriculture or even, the looks, how people do the blue ponds like he's talking about. They got it. And I tell you what I love is they sell corn.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
They
deer
sell-
corn.
They
Lot of-
sell corn.
Yeah, I think, Ronnie, did you get some from there?
I buy from there every year.
Yeah, and basically so we did not realize that, Gabe is a duck hunter, and Ronnie was like, hey, go throw a bag of corn out for me. Well, he comes running back in off the four-wheeler, and he has blowed up. So what is it that is in corn? He opened the bag.
He's
I don't know if
allergic to
it's
corn dust.
the corn dust.
Oh, yeah.
He's allergic to corn
probably.
I
dust.
mean,
Yep.
he just had an allergic reaction. I was like, well, I guess you ain't going to be using him to put your corn out no more.
I think
got out of that.
I personally think he went and got some icy hot rubbed around his face.
So he didn't have to do it.
But we put out 400 or 500 pounds a week by hand. So, but I've been talking to Ben, like I've been trying to butter Ben up, like, hey, bro, I get that poker discount like this year.
No.
Yeah, that's what Ben says.
No.
Ben says no, but he is going to let me hunt turkey next year.
He said for friends it goes up 5%.
I can't blame him either, though. I'm gonna be honest. So you get into farming. Well, you run the supply store, and now you're farming too.
Yep, do a little farming.
So when you started farming, what were you farming?
Well, we grew tobacco for, as a kid, I grew up in a tobacco field. Most kids spent their summers going to the pool or traveling or going here and there. I spent the summers in a tobacco field with most of the rest of my family.
Sun up to sundown.
Now, what people that have never done it don't understand, at 4:30, we'd go to the farm and go to this little building that had a door going into the ground. And you open that door up, and there might be a light bulb in there, and sometimes it'd work and sometimes it wouldn't. Daddy would pull the string, and hopefully the light would come on. And he'd say, now y'all carry this tobacco from the barn down into the pit so we can get it in order. Now this was all on sticks at this time. You had to get a barn out before you could put a barn in. We wanted to start barning at 6:30, so we had to be out there at the farm at 4:30 or 5 to take the barn out to put it down in the pit, so we'd have one to put in that day
At the barn.
And then we proceeded to, walk up and down the rows all day, every day.
So I
I know Ronnie knows stuff about.
So I farmed backer.
Yeah,
I didn't
farming
farm backer.
tobacco.
I worked in backer fields. That's how we had to. So every morning for school, 4:30, 4:45, we were out there working. The bus came at about 8. So about 7:30, we had to run back to the house, get changed, go out there, get ready for school. Come back from school, had to go back in the field, unless it was football season. Now, football season, I was allowed to play ball. But I tell Amy all the time, I laugh because when you talk about farming backer, you can always tell somebody's never farmed backer. And the first way you know they ain't farmed backer is the first question I always ask them. They're like, yeah, I used to prime backer. I'm like, what'd you wear? Oh, bro, I wore a hat and a short sleeve shirt. Bro, you ain't never primed backer a day in your life. Because there ain't no way you went home every day with that all the way up your arm. But like after the first day, you knew. Like you knew. And then you ask them if they have been backer sick. They ain't never been backer sick. They ain't never farmed backer. I mean.
What's backer sick? I ain't never farmed backer.
Well, it's
never.
when the dew off of the plant soaks up the nicotine, and you walking through the field brush that juice on you from off of that plant, and the nicotine soaks into your skin. And it's just like you getting an overdose.
Oh gosh.
It's like the first time you put chewing back in your mouth. You ever seen somebody first time they get sick? That's why you wear long sleeve shirts.
Ugh.
And then if you pop the worm, you always had to pop it low because guys will pick the worm up and pop it high, let it squirt in the eye. Like there's so many little things.
What's the worm?
The backer worm.
He would eat the tobacco plant.
You had to go pull the worms.
Had to get rid of those.
Yeah, big old great, but they're good to fish with you.
Nope.
So
chickens like them too.
Oh, they do. So people don't understand the barn either because when you're in the barn, you had the low guys and the high guys. And the whole goal for me as a kid was to either get on the tractor at some point because you wanted to be the man running the tractor, or be the high guy because the low guy got everything dropped on him.
And he had to handle every stick.
Every stick.
High guy only had to handle half.
What you handle them. But the worst part was the high guy, when he got up there, if there was a snake, would just knock it down on the low guys. Because there are always black snakes in the barn, like every day. So they would always, the high guys would be funny and they'd grab a snake and throw it right on you. You'd be halfway up. But I like them days. I remember them days. But they, I tell everybody, so Gabe, when he was about 11, we had a backer farm beside us. And in a minute, I need you to tell me about allotments because people don't understand that. But he was whining about doing chores. And the guy that was farming next to us, the guy named Buck. So I went out there, I said, Mr. Buck, can I send my boy out there in the morning to pull some leaves? He's 11. He's like, you ever worked? I said, no. He said, what's your point? I said, to teach him about the difference in work and chores. He said, oh, I got you. So I sent Gabe out there at the crack of dawn the next morning to pull leaves. And by 11 o'clock, that boy was in pure tears, literally tears. I mean, he was, and Mr. Buck's like, well, going home, because, it's right there. He's like, going home, you done enough today, blah, blah, blah. That boy, since that day, has never complained about doing a chore, ever.
Good lesson.
I'm telling you, I'm like, Bo, that's what we did every day. And these old timers every day, they didn't do it for 4 hours.
Daddy had a lot of people, a lot of children, kids, our friends, want to make a little extra money in the summer. And they'd say, we'll come help you work in the backer. We'll come help you work in the backer. And we were like, okay, because we did it every year, you know. They'd show up till lunch. They'd go home.
You see them again.
Never come back. The parents would call, nope, can't do that anymore. Happened numerous times.
That kind of sounds like you at our job, Amy.
Oh, you're so funny.
I think you got that same schedule.
No, I don't think so.
So y'all
My job never stops.
So y'all had allotments.
There was allotments in the tobacco system.
So people don't understand, if you never farmed, So back then, you could only grow so much tobacco, and you had to have an allotment from the government or the state.
On each specific farm.
And that's the tobacco you grow. And if you didn't have an allotment, you couldn't grow tobacco.
That's correct.
So if you had a tobacco allotment, and people would buy the allotments from other farmers, those were the people who would make money. And then, you know, what I think killed the tobacco industry was when they did away with allotments, and they just let anybody grow it. And I guess it had some good points, because I'm not a tobacco farmer. But I saw a lot of tobacco farmers go out.
And the reason the tobacco companies were pushing to get rid of the allotment system was so there would be more tobacco grown, and it would make the cost cheaper. And it took a lot of the profitability out of
From the farmers.
out of the tobacco.
And then they
product.
turned around a couple years later and really put a push on smoking cigarettes, posting on the packs. Like, they really, after they got all this tobacco that they wanted, then the government starts saying, well, there's just too much. Let's put warnings on it. Let's do this, that, and the other. So, you know, when I look at farmers, I mean, they've been through a lot of trials and turmoils and tribulations, which we talk about, John 16:33. But, you know, people don't realize, like, burnt tobacco, insurance. You know, I see that a lot now. Guys, tobacco just burns up. They just leave it in the field. Well, I mean, why do they do that? Just don't get enough water, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the quality's not there, or it's not enough water, or disease gets it. I mean, there's a lot of things that chase a tobacco plant.
Yep. So there's it's not just like put a plant in the ground and grow it like people think.
No.
And it's not like that with corn either, is it?
There's hundreds of pathogens, diseases, insects that attack a tobacco crop. And you may not hear of one for 50 years, and then all of a sudden that one comes back. You know, it's just a cycle. It's a cycle.
And
That's
corn's
right.
the same way.
Corn is the same way. It's a little more resilient than tobacco.
But without water. So what is that the number one thing for corn? Water?
It probably would be considered one of the number one things.
What about the quality of the seed? Does that matter?
Most definitely.
It does.
It most definitely.
So the quality of the
higher
seed
the
matters.
quality of the seed, the better chance that plant's going to be healthy from the beginning.
So when you're selling seed, you know if you have low quality seed, high quality seed, like you know where it comes from. I mean,
Absolutely.
the farmer.
All the seed that's used for planting is certified by the state.
Okay. So
Well, I can tell you something. My grandma and my grandpa, they had 5 different gardens. And they knew they had potato houses, they had, I don't know, plum trees, grapevines. They had it all. They just lived off the land, basically. But that's what you did in their time. But me and Ronnie tried to do a garden one time.
wow.
I do not have a green thumb. I can tell you that.
It was a good garden. Amy doesn't like to.
No, it's just that I can't get nothing to grow. Shoot, even when I do plants, I can't get them to stay alive.
Gardening is a lot of work.
It
is.
is.
It's daily. You got to be out there
is.
daily. You got to be
And
out
you're
there daily.
fighting the animals to stay out of it.
Well, you got to get the weeds out. You got to keep the weeds out. I mean, I can tell you one thing that'll grow without any assistance is a pepper plant.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally, a pepper plant will grow. But everything else, you got to put a little work in. Like, you know, we grew tomato plants and
I used to think that was easy because my grandparents did it. So I was like, oh, yeah. I remember it was one summer I was going to teach the kid, we're going to go out there, our little summer project, we're going to garden. Number one, I'm in the wrong time. Shouldn't be trying to garden then, but certain things or whatever. And no, I realized right then how hard it was. I don't know how they did it.
Well, so that, you know, you remember the Farmer's Almanac?
I do.
So they came out
I used
back
to
in
give
the day.
out farmers'
They used
almanacs
to come
at the
out,
store.
and it would tell you the best time they thought to plant.
That's right.
I mean, it had all the stuff for people who didn't really farm, but it was also great for the farmers. But I remember, what is it? You're supposed to plant after the last frost. Like there's
Yes.
rules in farming.
My
And I
grandma
don't
used to
know
tell
them.
me stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to wait a certain time to plant this, a certain time to plant that.
Or the moon cycle.
Moon cycles.
Yeah.
Moon cycle is a big one for planting.
And people don't realize how technical it was. Like they think you just go out there, put a seed in the ground, throw a little water on it, and
And
here comes a plant.
there's a lot of scientific basis on some of that stuff that was in the Farmer's Almanac. You know, as far as the insect cycles and disease cycles that reduced if you were planting on the shrinking of the moon or the growing of the moon.
And it made a difference.
It makes a difference.
So we used the Farmer's Almanac for hunting, believe it or not. We would watch the moon cycles in the falls, and it would always be the moon cycles, and we always knew when the best time to hunt were. And now, honestly, it's funny because they make apps for deer called the Moon Cycle apps. And you just download on your phone. It'll tell you the best 3 days this week to hunt, the best 3 days next week.
And the times.
And the times.
Yeah.
It will. It'll be like 11 to 1:30.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like hunting now has become fully digital. But, back then, all these farmers, they're the ones that started that. And people don't realize that all that came from our farmers trying to figure out the best time to plant, the best time to grow, So let me ask you, ever grew grapes?
I tried to grow grapes.
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I say.
And they didn't survive.
I can't get grapes to grow. I've tried for about 6 years, and
They're
I can't
hard.
get grapes to grow for nothing.
I don't really know what my grandma did, but she had a scuppernong
Scuppernong
grapes.
vine.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember it starting out small, but then it expanded, and she put up 4 branches, and then it just leaned it all the way over, and every year it would produce. And my Uncle Bervin would go out there, pick the grapes, and then he would ferment.
Oh, he makes Scuppernong wine.
Yeah.
That's what you made it for.
Mine never got to that stage.
They never got you able to
They never got to the stage.
Yeah,
where
you
I
never
could-
got to where you could pull them off.
Nah, maybe a few, but maybe about a foot high.
So we get into the 90s. Now you're farming. So during the
Growing
time,
beans and
so,
corn.
so
and-
what was
and
the
wheat.
most profitable thing that you think used to for farmers to make up? Because people don't. And here's the other thing I want to ask you. So people don't realize the money farmers have to put in. You got to have tractors, plows, combines, help, seeds, fertilizer, what you spray on the plants to keep the bugs off. Like it's not just go out there and put something in the ground.
That's right.
And people don't realize, like, you go to any farm, even your farm, and you'll see equipment just sitting everywhere. Where they've had equipment that I guess has gone down or broke, and you've got more equipment or whatever. But like farmers don't sell all that old stuff; they just leave it somewhere. I mean, I've always noticed that. Like, as a scrap guy, you're out there like, "Hey, man, you want to sell that plow?" Nah, bro. Back during 1975, I used that plow.
That's
Blah blah. I mean, they got
memorabilia.
stories with it.
Yeah.
They got stories with it, and they're like, "I wouldn't sell that plow. I ain't worried about the money." I'm like, "Bruh." So every farm, even your farm, I notice there's just stuff everywhere because I'm sure all those pieces have a story. But tell people how hard it is to actually farm and what your most profitable crop was.
Well, the most profitable crop that I ever grew was probably soybeans, and I can't tell you what year it was, but they were up to $15, $17 a bushel, and we had a good year, and you made maybe 50 bushels, so that was a pretty good profit across the whole farm. Corn, I've had years where I've made 150 bushels to the acre or close, and then the next year I'd make 8 bushels
On the same acre.
on the same acre.
Oh,
So,
wow.
the land and the amount of rainfall and the temperature, this year's been a tough year on a lot of corn, a lot of crops.
No rain.
The soybean crop has come out a little bit. The corn crop, especially the early corn, is pretty much devastated.
Really?
Unless it was watered. I
Unless
mean,
you could irrigate it.
and you just can't afford to irrigate with the price of fuel
Yeah.
and how little the corn brings. You can't afford to irrigate corn or soybeans.
So that means corn this year is going to be exceptionally high.
Well,
Well-
it might be, and it depends on how it is in the Midwest.
And that makes sense too, because remember, we had a pastor's wife bring us some corn,
Oh
and
my God.
they just bring us the whole thing or whatever, and me and Ronnie was gonna butter it down.
Well,
and
you got to tell
we-
Glenn, we love to cook corn on the grill.
Yeah, because
Like we love.
we put butter on it, and we put honey on it, and and it was dry. It was so bad.
I
It
have
was
never,
worse.
I have never, this year, I've never had sweet corn that bad.
I was like, what is going on?
And half of the cob, like the top half of the cob, had just been ate off
Yeah.
with the insects and
It's been
whatnot.
a rough-
Like,
it's
it
been a
was,
rough
I'm
year.
telling you, it was the worst looking corn and tasting corn I've ever had this year.
Yeah.
And I'm still thankful she gave it to us, but I'm like, this is,
And of course, my latest adventure in farming is getting into the cow business. So a few years ago, I decided, well, I had a guy from Canada call me up, and he said, I want you to handle my cattle chutes. And I said, what? He said, I want you to handle my cattle chutes. I said, man, I don't even know what a cattle chute is. So he proceeded to tell me that he sold a lot of his cattle equipment in eastern North Carolina, and he didn't have a dealer in eastern North Carolina. So he convinced me to let him come to Wendell and talk to me. So he jumps on his private plane and flies up there to RDU, rents a car, drives down to the store, pulls up to the front of the store, walks in there, and says, I'm here to show you, pulls out a map. This is how many people and cows there are around you. I need you to sell my cattle equipment. I'll send it down here. We'll sell it for you. All you got to do is collect the money and help people deliver it and set it up. Don't pay for it till you sell it. I thought, man, that beats fertilizer business hands down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'll try it. So I got a load in, tractor trailer load, about 15 pieces maybe. These things sell anywhere from $10,000 to $45,000. It sat there 6 months. Nobody inquired much, didn't sell one. And all of a sudden I had a couple people come in and found out that I had
Got some shoes.
this equipment on the lot. And they're like, well, we want to come buy one of your cattle chutes. I'm like, what? You want to buy one of these things? And so for the last 4 years, I've been selling this cattle equipment, and it has worked out pretty well. So I decided with my latest farming venture that I would get into the cow business. So I built me a pasture, and I've been able to grow grass all my life. I've fertilized people's pastures. I've, helped them seed it. Up till this year, of course, with the drought, my pastures were just as brown as they could be. No grass for the cows. Been feeding them hay the whole year. But I had a bull, and the bull decided that it wanted to get out.
Have you named a bull?
Bull's name is Slick.
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 Because he was slick. he figured out how to get out of this pasture. And we had fixed him a special pasture because we didn't want him in there with the heifers that had just had some calves. We didn't want the calves to get hurt. And we didn't want the heifers to be bred too quick.
Yeah.
So we put him over in this special pasture. Well, he did not like being in that pasture by himself.
So he had no women.
He had nobody to socialize
He
with.
he didn't have cows. Are very social. I found this out later. I didn't know. And he got out, and after he whined every night, you go out there about sunset, you'd hear him whining down there, or moaning, or whatever you want to call it. And he got out, and we were trying to round him back up. And the neighbor has a cow fence close to ours. Well, old Slick decided we were about to hem him up. He jumps the fence and goes into the neighbor's pasture. And that's where Slick where Slick stayed for a while. We couldn't get him out, and finally one of the nice neighbors finally roped him and brought him back to us.
I would show up on Wednesday night, and it was the conversation of the night. The conversation would start. You got your bull back yet? Nope.
Nope.
Got your bull every week. You got your bull back yet? Nope.
Just like a guy to run off, and when his stubborn streak wears off, he comes back.
Yeah, it was funny.
I guess
though.
the grass won't greener on the other pasture.
After he stayed a while, he decided he wanted to be back home
That's
with his
right.
family.
Yeah.
He's happy
Yeah.
now.
Is that, and that's your only bull right now?
That's the only bull.
And you got a bunch of cows. I see calves out there.
Is it a Brahma? Or
Nah,
what kind of?
Angus.
Angus.
Black Angus.
Okay.
I think that's where the money's at. In
That
Angus.
is where the money's at.
Or
I
what
know
everybody
that,
says.
and I'm
I don't know
not
nothing about cows.
Well, the only
Ain't it
part
blue?
I can tell you is the only money I've seen is going out. I hadn't seen any coming in. But we hadn't sold any cows.
Mr.
but
Glenn, that's kind of like
we're
that's
trying
kind
to
of
grow
like
'em.
that's kind of like having a wife, ain't it?
A lot like that.
Oh,
in your early years.
Yeah. Because in the later years they take it all. They don't even take half no more. They just you come home and you open your wallet and you're like, "Where's my money?" Oh, I know where it's at. It's over there. Look at you. You know it's true.
I don't know about that. I work
Slick.
too
I didn't
hard.
know the bull's name was Slick. I go there every week and ask Ben. That's the one that helps him on the farm. And I'll be like, Ben, where's your bull? Oh, he's still over yonder. I'm like, you going to get him? He'll come back. Like they did. Like the bull didn't go far.
Yeah.
Like it stayed right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So we
So
were.
wait a minute. So black. Okay, it's Angus and something called a blue. That's
No, that's a British blue.
a British.
That's
blue.
in Britain.
Okay.
I don't think they can raise those here.
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, British blue is only in Britain, believe it or not. I've never seen a British blue in America, but so over there that's what they raise is British blues.
Mm-hmm.
But over there they're not allowed to use hormones, shots.
It's all
like
grass fed.
everything.
Yeah.
It's so different in England. in the UK.
Yeah.
But that is good meat. But the two meats here everybody looks for, of course, is Angus. That's probably the number one.
Yeah.
And then it's that, it's called Kobe.
Is it Kobe?
Is it Kobe?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That fancy steak, they got an Australian version and a Chinese version. And
Wagyu?
Wagyu. That's what I'm trying to think
There
of.
you go.
Wagyu.
There you go.
I couldn't
You
remember
know
the
I
name.
know that.
'Cause I can't afford it, so
He
I
said
didn't have
fancy
none.
steak.
I've never had one.
I can't afford it, so.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
everybody
it's
either
high
wants
dollar.
Angus or they want
I
Wagyu.
just see them at the butcher's market
Yep.
sometimes.
And they,
yeah.
ooh. But I tell you, there's nothing to me better to throw on the grill than a big old bone-in Angus ribeye. Now, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Tomahawk steak, boy, I love them. I think that Angus has some of the best flavor out there. But I grew up eating sirloin, so, you know, a ribeye is a treat for us. Growing up on a farm, though, so how much, y'all didn't raise a lot of animals in
We
there?
didn't have any animals.
So y'all raised all crop.
Only grew crops.
All crop, man. So now you've transferred, which you're still doing all the farming stuff, but now you got cattle chutes and all cattle guards, and
We sell a lot of chicken feed, dog food.
chickens have exploded, ain't
A
they? Everybody raising
a lot
a chicken
of
now.
feed of all kinds.
Yeah.
You know,
Is everybody raising chickens now? Everywhere I go, somebody got chickens.
it seems like.
I mean, really, like every yard I see has like, they don't want to buy eggs, so they make the eggs. And you sell lawnmowers, big lawnmowers.
Like
Yes,
tractor
yes.
lawnmowers?
No, like 70-inch cut lawnmowers.
Like commercial
Yeah.
mowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause Brian just went and bought two.
Boy.
He bought one for himself and then his
Yeah.
father-in-law.
One of his
bought
father-in-law, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy one, but Brian bought the one I want. I won't go tell you though.
Oh, Karen. Oh, she better not be watching this podcast.
These are big cuts, so
Oh,
like.
she was there.
Oh,
see,
was she?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, like
Okay.
a woman, she gonna control it. You already know that. But y'all sell pretty much everything. 'Cause I gotta come get some Pondai because we're getting ready to build us a little farm. You don't know, but I got some miniature donkeys, and I'm getting ready to get a miniature Longhorn, a miniature Highland, and then I'm buying me some zonkies. You ever seen a zonkie?
I have not.
So half donkey, half zebra.
Okay.
So each one's born different, all different colors. So I'm gonna start raising those just because I guess as you
Okay,
get
do
older.
you hear this? Did you hear what he said?
I did hear that.
Now, I'm going to record how much I goes out there and do.
You know I love my donkeys. I'm trying to get you to let them put them. I'm trying to get her to let her put me in the front yard of the house, and she
I
won't
mean,
do
you
it.
become your environment, donkey.
Oh, is that how it is? Is that where we're going today? But I guess I don't know if you're this way, but I'm this way. But as I get older, I get more sentimental. So like, you know, I grew up hunting, and then I got a pet deer a couple years ago. Had a solid white albino pet deer that I raised in the bottle, and now I can't even hardly shoot a deer. I mean, honestly. And like, you know, I can kill a turkey in a minute now, and a duck, I ain't got a problem with that. Dove, anything flies, I don't have a problem with. But like, I have a hard time deer hunting. I have a hard time bear hunting. Now I'm starting to want to collect animals. And I don't know if that's just my age or if that's, you know, I don't know if that's all guys that get older, but it seems like as you get older, things mean more to you. Your dog means more to you.
I think so.
I mean, I'll be honest.
I agree with you. I used to do a lot of deer hunting, and recently I still like to go.
Yeah.
But I really don't even need the gun.
You don't
I
care
just
if you
need
shoot or not?
Need a pair of binoculars.
You don't care if you shoot or not. I'll
That's
go
right.
kill a doe every now and then, like especially an old doe by herself, because I don't know if you eat deer jerky, but I take the whole deer and make jerky. But I really, I don't know, man. Like one of
Now
my,
we make cow jerky now.
oh, see, now I got to come get you making cow jerky.
No, I hadn't got
Oh,
to that
you need to
point,
start-
but I'm going to.
Look, as soon as you start making that, I'll buy the first 100 pounds. I want the first 100 pounds because we literally put it in the freezer, and then pull a pack out about every day, me and Gabe, and we ride around in a tow truck and eat turkey all day, bro.
Well, I think the other thing too, Ronnie, is you get older, you slow down, and when you start slowing down, then you start appreciating the small moments and the small things in life. When you're younger, it's more like
So
Ju-
fast.
yeah,
Let's go.
go,
Let's
go,
go.
go, go,
That's
go,
right.
go. I mean, I see it in Gabe, I see it in Maggie, I even see it in Alexa, like her doing all her house stuff, but it's always rush, go, and the older you get, you just start slowing down, you just start appreciating things, taking time to let it all set in.
Well, I tell you the one thing, like the history of Bridgers is crazy. And I had no idea about all that. I really didn't. But getting to spend time with Glenn and the guys at the table and two of his boys. And now his two boys are as opposite as two boys could be to me. Like they're really like, if you met them, I swear to you, you would not know they were brothers.
It's probably like Gabe and Alex.
100%. It's hilarious. And actually, Timmy hung out with Alex for a long time. They used to hang out together. I think Alex actually been to Glenn's house. I don't even know if Glenn knows that.
He has.
He's been to Glenn's house. So, but they're both literally both his boys are good. I mean, good people. Like when you hang out with them, talk to them, they're fun to be around. Ben's like the serious, hard head, no nonsense guy to me.
Oh, that's Gabe.
And Timmy's like the jokester, the little
There's Alex. There
laid
you
back.
go. Yeah.
That mug will show up some flip flops and a cut off shirt and not care. Like he's the comedian part.
Yep.
But what I love, what I appreciate most about Glenn, and we've adopted a couple kids, and you're really into the elderly, and we put, God is everything in our life. So my daddy always told me, Mr. Glenn, that if you want to know a man's worth, watch how he treats kids that aren't his and people that can do nothing for him. And how he treats those people is where his values lie. And Mr. Glenn has a daughter, Lori. And I'm telling you, she's the sweetest girl in the world, but she has some mental challenges. I don't know what they call it these days. I don't want to be, whatever. But she's there, but she's young in mind. And I watch so many people, and I actually have friends that I have walked away from because I've watched them take children like that and throw them away in homes. And like their parents will get old and decrepit, and they'll throw their parent at home, won't even go visit them. And
Well, I saw that in the funeral industry
Yep.
when I would go to a nursing home. I saw a bunch of Down syndrome
and
children
people just abandon them.
that they would just abandon, and I
But
would always go
every
spend time with
Wednesday,
them.
so she's there every other week. And if she's there, she comes down, and I'm not kidding, she lightens up the whole room. Everybody loves her, like everybody. And if she's not there when we start our game, Glenn calls her on FaceTime, and she talks to the whole table. It's the greatest thing. But to me, just him making that one phone call every week she's not there is one of the most symbolic acts of love. And we talk about love all the time on this podcast and how Jesus loved us enough to die for us and how God loves us enough to let his son die. But that is one of the most symbolic acts of love because every week he includes this young lady in what we do. And the thing I've never seen, and I don't know if she gets mad, she's human. Like, I got some friends that have Down syndrome children, and when they get mad, it's hard to calm them down. But they are always normally so happy. And I have
Love it.
never seen her not hugging, smiling, laughing. Like, this girl is, if the
And
world,
she looks forward to the night that everybody comes.
I'm telling you,
Just so, and she prepares herself for it.
you can tell.
You know,
She'll come down there
days
fixed
in
up.
advance.
Oh, I'm telling you, she.
love
But
it.
if everybody could have that type of love and attitude for the world that she has, and on the flip side, not trying to be, blow your head up, but if everybody could have the love as a parent that you have for her, to take care of her, to raise her, to keep her, to make sure she's always protected instead of just throwing her off, man, this world would be so different. And I see in the big cities a lot of times that family, I guess that family bond is just not there anymore. And I think that's our problem with society is we don't take care of our kids. We throw them in front of a screen. We throw them out. We don't have time for them because we're too worried about our life. But every time I go to Glenn's house, he's always got time for his kids. And I admire that. I don't know if that comes from your farming background. I don't know if that comes from your family background. But I have so many people that I see on a regular basis that just don't have time. And, I wanted you to know how much people notice that you probably don't realize we notice. All of us notice.
Well, I appreciate that.
I mean, seriously.
And, as you said, when you get older, you start appreciating the time that you have had to spend here.
Yeah.
Because so many people, don't get that time. And
It's a busy man right there, I'm telling you. Usually his phone will go off 30 times a day, but not. He's usually pretty safe. My
speaking
phone's the one
of
that goes
speaking
off.
of which,
Oh, is that her?
That's her.
Oh, we got to talk to her.
Okay.
Here she is, Amy.
hey Lori,
Look.
Hi, Daddy.
what are you doing?
Hi.
Who's that? Who's
Hey,
that?
baby. What's up?
She knew exactly who it was.
How you doing? I'm just sitting here talking with Ronnie and his wife.
Amy.
Look, she knows.
Oh, she knows.
That's
she,
right.
She loves the show. She loves us.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So are you, love. What are you doing?
I'm just about to eat.
Oh, are you at home?
No.
No.
She's not here this week, right?
She's not.
Yeah, she's not here this week.
What you getting for lunch?
I got a salad.
Oh, okay. I love a good salad.
Me too, girl.
All right, sweetie.
Baby, I'll see you next week. I'll be waiting to see. I got something for you next Wednesday. I'm bringing to you. You'll like it.
Okay.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
You see, and I'm being fair. You see the happiness in her.
Oh yeah,
She is always like when she comes in the room. Like I could literally be coming back from a bad situation that day at work. She walks in the room and the whole room changes. And I love that about her, man. I could be around her every day of the week for a little while just to try to
She is
suck
so
some of that. Oh, she is
sweet.
something else.
And I try to answer her every time
Yep.
she calls. Sometimes I can't. but
Glenn does.
I
We'll
like
be in the
to.
middle of the game. He'll answer. Like if she calls, he'll answer that phone.
Yeah.
So
I
leave
never
it
know.
on, Bo. You're fine. I told you, I ain't worried about that phone.
It's fun.
But yeah, that's the thing that I've admired most, and that's honestly the reason I go back and play poker every week is because when you're around people like that, there's so few places I can go in society now and be around good people. And I'm not saying they're ugly. There's just so few places you can get around good people.
Well,
And our group it's a group of good people. Like everybody at our table has a good heart. Well, except when Jeff shows up. Jeff thinks he can fish better than me, so we're gonna have to work on that. Because you can't, Jeff. You can't outfish me. You can keep
Lord.
trying, Jeff. And you got a great heart, but your fishing skills are a little below par. So make sure I send you this clip right here.
he'll come back with something, I'm sure.
No doubt.
Oh yeah, but yes, it's so we're moving to. You got Laura, you got all the kids. So Timmy works with you at the shop. Ben works at the shop, and he's in the field.
Correct.
So what's going to happen when you decide to stop? Which you probably won't never stop until you leave this world, till you go spend some time with Jesus. Because you're a farmer, and I've never seen a farmer actually stop. I've seen them slow down a little,
Yeah.
but normally they just don't stop.
Well, I'm hoping between the two of them, they can work it out.
You think they're going to keep things going?
I hope so.
I mean, 105 years.
If that's what they want to
Yeah,
do.
115 years would be even better, wouldn't it?
Everybody has to make their own choices.
Well, Ben seems really happy.
And
Like,
they'll have to decide, farming in this area is a tough living to make now with the development that's going on. There's so many houses being built and so many farms being taken up.
so I made a comment earlier, Amy, and Glenn corrected me. So I said, farming's dying. He said, farming ain't dying. It's just dying in this area. So explain that to us. So farming's not dying.
No, if you go to eastern North Carolina or you go into the Midwest, farming is still big business. There's more people. We've got more demand for food and products in the world than ever before. So we have to farm, but it's just in localized area. In our case, Wake County, that farming is
Because the land is worth so much.
land is worth so
To
much.
develop.
It's being taken up by development.
So when you go down Glenn's driveway, and he's got one of them driveways, and I'll be honest with you. So Glenn's got one of these driveways that if you go down and they don't like you, you don't come back out. First time Brian took me there, I said, bro, I don't know about this. I'm literally, it's a half-mile driveway, or maybe
Yeah.
a mile. I don't know. You go down you start in a field, and you go down this thing, you go over a culvert, there's a little house, you go around, there's a barn, you go around, and you get back here to another barn, and you get over here, there's a house, and you're like, bro, I can't. There's one way in, one way out, and it's a mile. Like, you ain't leaving if Glenn don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
And he's got all the equipment in the world to not never find your body.
Oh, yeah.
So first time Brian took me, I said, Bo, I don't know, bro. Like, you know me. I'm like, I don't know, Brian. He's like, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. But what I've noticed now when I go there is literally as you're going down Glenn's driveway, to the right, they have started building a huge development. Like literally backed up to his farm.
Oh, wow.
And that's what we're talking about. That land is worth so much money now that it's hard to be a farmer when they come in and, hey, man, this is your land, this is your heritage, and we'll give you this amount of money so we can build condos on it or townhouses on it. And I think Wake County, that's what's happening. The land's just gone up so much. So I guess, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he lives in Illinois. He says land out there is still dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and if you buy more than so many acres, you get some kind of permit where the government will pay you not to even plant on it. And I don't know what that's called, but he said you can have a agricultural permit, and they actually pay you every year not to plant on it and let it sit for 1 year, and then the next year you plant on it. So I guess they plant every other year. But, like, there's so much more to that because the land out there is just still low value. But here, I saw land in Wake Forest the other day was listed at $150,000 an acre.
And North Carolina is one of, on the last chart I saw, was the fastest growing state in the
I believe it.
in the country.
I believe it because I'm telling you, the farms I've seen around here are really dissipating. I got some other buddies that are farmers we talked about, And they tell me the same thing. Like, they've had to go buy land in Lewisburg and the backside of Bunn over by Lake Royale just to put their cattle because they can't keeping them here. It's just not financially worth it to them when they could sell 10 acres of land and go buy 80 acres of land. And so that's what I've seen some of these guys start doing is they're selling 10 acres off their farm and then they'll go buy 80, 90 acres, 45 minutes away. So, but we don't have to worry about farmers going out is what you're saying.
Not overall.
Yeah.
Always going to be farmers.
So we're still going to have plenty of corn.
Plenty of corn. And plenty of wheat for the chickens.
Amy, can we get some chickens?
I'm not doing chickens.
Mr. Glenn said he'd give me the first bag free.
No.
If you let me get some chickens.
No. My niece has chickens. If you want some eggs, you can go get them from her.
So tell Mr. Glenn what happened to your aunt, since we were talking about Slick.
Oh, so I had an aunt back in the day. I told you my grandma and grandpa. My mom was raised on a farm. There was 8 brothers and sisters, and they didn't just do farming. They had gardening too, but they lived off the land back then, especially with 8 kids. So my aunt Cloran lived a little. I think it was she lived either with my grandma and grandpa or lived on the same land. I'm not really sure.
You got to explain to Glenn though. They had 100 acres, and
Yeah.
everybody in the family lives on this same road. So it's,
Yes.
it's a path like yours.
Yes.
There's houses all the way down. They all the brothers, sisters,
Yes.
cousins.
Everybody.
Everybody lives on this.
Yeah,
farm.
there's like 6 of them left, so they all live there. Still today. And the old family house, which is my grandma and grandpa's house at the very end, still stands. Anyway, so in the side field out by the barn, they had a bull. And the bull got loose, and my Aunt Cloran was actually in the garden, and it was mean. And it came and it horned her. It ended up killing her because it hit her
Killed
right,
her in the garden?
No way.
went right through her midsection.
Oh, no way.
And back then,
So what happened to the
Well,
bull?
nothing you can do with
I just
that.
want to know what happened to the bull. You've never told me what happened to the bull. Did he become ribeyes?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Or hamburger.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'll give you a better one. When Amy was growing up on this little farm, they had a mean dog and it bit her. And 2 days later, that mug died. Ask her.
I believe it.
The dog died. If that ain't meanness, if that ain't woman meanness, I don't know what is. She killed the dog because the dog bit her and got poisoned and died. I should have known not to marry you. I should have known. I'm probably going to end up dying the same way, ain't I? I
You
just
probably
don't
will.
bite you, right?
Everybody's gonna die. Yeah, you probably will.
So, I know you're a believer. I know you're saved. That one day we'll all be hanging up in heaven. You'll be farming. I'll probably be still feeding deer. How much of a factor, honestly, does that play in your day-to-day life as far as, because when you're a farmer, you have to trust on the elements, which means you have to trust God.
It's the biggest part of my life. I've tried to instill in my children and my family, that that's what we live for. That's what we're here for. We're born in this world to serve God, and that's always supposed to be your number one priority.
And that's probably why your place is still there 104, 105 years later, honestly. God, you look throughout the Bible, and God always takes care of his people. Now, they go through hard times.
Yep.
I mean, Moses in the desert 40 years on 40, and, the Hebrews, and fed them manna every day, which I'm not going to lie to y'all, after 80 years, I think I get tired of eating bread. But in the end, he always takes care of his people. And I think people that put him first in everything they do usually at some point get rewarded. It's funny because you never see them in that huge successful thing, but I think the devil uses success to tempt us too much. And God
the reward is in here.
Correct.
Absolutely.
100%.
Money can't buy the reward that you have for yourself.
Because you're only going to be here so long.
That's right.
You're only going to be
And
here
you're
so
not
long.
going to take anything with you when you go.
And
A
no-
lot of people like to try. You come into this world with nothing, and you're going to go out with nothing.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
honestly, I tell you the truth, it's and I talked to Amy about this. When I finally got to the point in my life where I realized it wasn't mine, because it's not mine, that's when my spiritual life changed. And that's when, we lost a lot, Glenn. during the TV show, we had everything in the world going for us, and I got to where it was mine. Like, this is mine, this is mine. Y'all don't touch this, don't touch that. And God come in and said, bruh, none of that was ever yours. And there it was, gone. And so now our whole thing with this podcast and with what we do is to try to find people who, I mean, you don't have to be saved to be on the show. You can be Muslim, you can be atheist, you can be whatever. But me and Amy, you know, we want God to always be first in what we do in this podcast. And that's our whole thing, is to try to reach people. And I think the reason I wanted you on here, one, was because of your family and what I see, the love. And I just don't believe people have that kind of love without God. I'm going to be honest.
And that is the greatest commandment, is to love.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't believe, I don't believe, if you don't have God, I don't think you're capable of having that type of love. And then
And
to
he's
see,
got to have a lot of faith, too.
that's what I'm saying, he's a farmer.
That's right.
Everything depends on the elements.
You
Absolutely.
just got to keep having faith.
So faith is the biggest then.
And
That's-
that, you know, I've got struggles just like y'all do.
Yep.
I mean, you know, everybody has their low moments, and that's part of the reason you appreciate the good moments.
I can say I've never been, and I've been coming with a couple months now, 3 months, something like that. I've never been there and it not been a positive, enjoyable environment. And I don't think that's because of the people. I think that's because of the people's heart in the room. And I'll be honest. So when you go to Glenn's house, you know, a godly heart. So everything that comes in there, if you ain't got a godly heart, you can still get in there, but you're not going to be very comfortable there. Because
You'll be
everybody,
uneasy.
yeah, you will be, 100%. And we do get some uneasy people there. But I think the godly heart, the godly house, I think that's why, you know, and you know our story. We lost our son. We've talked about it several times. But, like, you know, Timmy hung out with him. And I know there was a while where Timmy was trying to find his way in life. And I look at Timmy now, and I'm like, Bo, he's turned out to be such a good young man.
Yep.
You know, like I watch Timmy, and I'm telling you, Ben's got the work ethic. Like Gabe and Ben have, so you understand, have the same work ethic. I don't never see Ben when he ain't working. Mm-hmm. That man works. But he's got 2 wonderful little girls. So you got 3 total grandchildren.
Correct.
And 2 of them always come down every Wednesday. And as long as they're not going on somewhere, and they bring us sausage balls and chocolate chip cookies. Every Wednesday, them 2 little girls come down with these little plates, man. And that's, I know it's crazy, but that's the godly heart you can see in them. Like,
It's a servant's
they're
heart.
servants.
That's
And-
right.
And they're so happy to bring you a sausage ball, and they're so, like, they just so happy to bring them, man. And
Well, you know, that's the way we're supposed to be
Yeah.
with God. We're supposed to be so happy to serve Him. We're supposed, because we're His children. But how many times are you so happy to go do something for someone else that you feel like you really didn't want to do it?
that you get nothing from.
Exactly.
Because honestly, them little girls don't get nothing from that.
No. But to have a kid's heart,
Yep.
and just go out and do, like, no matter what kind of day they've had, what they got going on, they ain't stressed about paying no bills. They could care less about what mom and dad are doing. They just having a good time, enjoying life.
Them 2 little girls do. I'm telling you, the 2. I haven't met the 3rd grandchild yet, but the 2 that I've met, they are happy kids, man. And like all kids, they're gonna be kids.
And don't forget my wife that fixes that stuff
she is
for them.
what
And
a-
she enjoys
what-
doing it as well.
His wife is wonderful. I'll tell you what, there's no lie. So every week I go over there. If me and Brian don't go to our regular place to eat chicken wings, and we go to where they have the pie, I always bring Miss Glenn pie, Miss Bridges pie, always.
Uh-huh.
And I bring the table of pie, but she gets her own special piece because every week she cooks. And I hate to say
And
this.
she probably appreciates that.
Well, I hate to say this on the podcast because she is such a wonderful chef, such a great cook. But she was out of town a couple weeks ago, and this other dude made sausage balls. She probably needs to get his recipe.
She rolled them up. I just cooked.
Oh, is that what it was? I was gonna say. So Glenn cooked sausage balls, and he overcooked them, I guess. But I like them crispy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, boy, these bugs here. Like every week,
have
the
no
sausage
idea
balls
what
were
you're
phenomenal.
talking
about. They were good,
They
right?
were phenomenal. But that week, there was just something about it. It was like, well, Glenn, what'd you do here? Like, but his wife does. She is.
You
And
made them extra crispy.
look,
I did.
y'all, when the bull was out, she would go out with that little side by side. She'd go look for the bull. Like there, it's just the happiness there just blows my mind, honestly, because you see God in everything, and you see servants' hearts in everything at Glenn's house. And I ain't saying Glenn's perfect. I ain't saying his family's perfect. None of us are perfect.
No.
Absolutely.
But that's
not.
what you see, is you see that love. And I think that what I see in that family is that love of God. And I mean, honestly, and we've gone to how many houses where there's no God in it, and you just sit there and you can tell, like, man, you know.
I mean,
just,
God gives you discernment.
yeah, it's just missing, though. Like, it's just not there. And it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means, man, they have no idea what they're missing out on.
That's right.
I mean, the rain is coming. The crop will grow eventually. You know, I tell my favorite story, Mr. Glenn, in the Bible, I talk about all the time, the story of Job. Because, you know, he was sitting there at his house, and the devil, you know, had to go to God and say, hey, I'm going to tempt your most faithful servant. Mm-hmm. God said, you can tempt him, do anything you want to him, you can't kill him. And my two favorite parts about that story is the first day they come in, they say, hey, Job, all 7 of your sons just got killed. A couple minutes later, they said, Job, your 3 daughters just got killed. Job, your entire camel herd just got killed. Job, your entire sheep flock just got killed. Job, your entire goat flock just got killed. Your water just went putrid. I mean, this is all in, 48 hours. And Job never broke faith. And he had 3 friends and his wife. And they tried his best to convince Job to turn against God. And at one point in that story, Job does question God. And God said, who are you to question me? You know, can you control the Leviathan? Can you do this? Can you do that? Job, who are you to question me? He never turned to God, but he did question God, because I think in our biggest times we do question God. I think we say, why? Why am I going through this?
I think that's our flesh, our human
But you want to know why, because we want to understand. And having unwavering faith is so rare. To just stand there and say, not say why. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's why, you know. When Alex died, why? And then years later, God says, this is why. Be patient, I'll show you. But my favorite part about that story, Mr. Glenn, is in the end, God redeems him 7 times. Gives him 7 times as much land, 7 times as much cattle, 7 times as much camels, whatever. But he gave him leprosy, boils, inflicted him with sickness, but he never killed his wife. And in my life, I've lost a child. But losing my wife, like when you lose your wife, you lose half of yourself. Mm-hmm. Like literally. Like, I've been through a divorce, we both have. And that's a hard situation. But losing one to death, that's something, you weren't ready for that. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my pastor not long ago, and he said, you do know why he didn't kill Job's wife? I said, I have no idea. Maybe she was mean. I don't know. He said, no. He said, the sanctity of marriage is so strong that the Bible says when 2 get married, they become one flesh. Mm-hmm. And the only rule that God gave Satan was you can't kill Job. Therefore, his wife is part of him. You can't kill his wife. Mm-hmm. And, I love that story because it shows the unity of marriage and how marriage is supposed to be. And when a marriage is like that and we put God first, we end up with farmers like y'all. And I'm being serious. That's what you end up with, a family like that, or a family like we have at the house. And you end up with, even through the trials, the tribulations, the pain, you end up with joy. Because I don't think any 3 of us can say we don't have joy.
Right.
And, I don't think any of our kids can say they don't have joy. And I mean pure joy. So what do you see in the future for Glenn Bridgers?
I'll probably be part of the store as long as it's there. If my children decide they want to go down the path to continue the business, I'll be doing a little traveling. Wife and I like to go on some hikes at the...
You hike?
I do hike. I've got pictures to prove it.
No, I believe it because you're a farmer, so you're always out in the field walking and stuff, but I did not know you'd like to hike.
We've been to many national parks.
Ronnie ain't hiking.
And gone miles and miles up mountains and down rivers and all kinds of stuff.
Now, I would have never guessed that.
And there's a lot of places I'd still like to see. And, maybe outside the country, but a lot of them in the country, because there's still a whole lot of places here I hadn't seen.
Have you been outside the country?
I have been to, I've been to Mexico one time, and I'm headed to Canada in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So, going up there to the cattle chute manufacturer.
I'll get ready to ask you, we're going to have something to do with cattle, because you said the guy was from up that way.
Yep.
Wow. Canada's beautiful, as long as you don't go when it's cold.
Well, we're going in July, so
okay?
It's supposed to be 80s and 90s.
I'm assuming we won't be having a game that week.
Probably not. Forgot to mention that.
So last week, I've been so upset this week. You know what I did last week?
What?
I left my coffee cup at Glenn's. One I've had for 3 years. Yeah. Yep.
Poor thing.
I've been upset. I told Mr. Glenn,
nobody
please.
drinks as much coffee as you anyway.
Well, it's sitting there waiting.
I know. I told Brian if I can't make it tonight, you got to get my coffee cup, Brian. This one just ain't doing the trick. So traveling, and again, I would have never put you on just a hiking.
Well,
thing
I tell
in
you
nature.
what, I will say this: us traveling outside
Yeah.
the USA really makes me appreciate being American.
Yeah.
Some of the rules and regulations they have in other countries,
And they were beautiful countries with
Yes,
great people.
absolutely,
Great
absolutely.
people, beautiful countries, but it's just, we're spoiled as Americans.
A
We're not gonna lie.
100%
We're spoiled.
we are.
We are so spoiled.
Yeah, I remember, and I
So
hate to
spoiled.
call out this airport.
London Heathrow.
Yeah,
We're not going to say the names, but the initials are London Heathrow.
but every time I would go through there, they would pull me out of line and check me. And I'm like, I've been going through here for the last
3 years.
3 years.
Every
so
month.
finally, I kind of had enough. And so they pull me out of line, and I go to the head, what is it?
Security check.
Security,
person,
whatever.
TSA.
TSA, whatever it is they got. And I'm like, why in the world? You see me in here all the time. Why do you keep pulling me out of line? You're American. I said, are you discriminating against me? And she was like, no, you are American. Americans break all the rules.
But we do.
I said, so you mean to tell me that because you know that I'm an American citizen, you pull me out every time to check me? What am I going to take back from the UK to the USA that would get me in so much trouble that you could arrest me? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Why?
just, I'm here for work. Like, it was weird.
Do you want to tell Glenn the rest of that story?
No,
No, we should tell Glenn the rest of that
No.
story.
no.
No, let's tell Glenn the rest of the story.
So,
The fact that she had a 6-inch switchblade in her purse and forgot about it, which is 100% a felony in the UK.
well, I did forget about it, but also the other problem with it is my EpiPen, because I have allergies, was laying on top of it. So what they caught was not the knife. They caught the EpiPen. And so I just pulled it out. I was like, it's my EpiPen. And she was like, okay. She just put it. And I walked off, and I got on the plane, and I was like, Lord Jesus, thank you, because they would have buried me
After you
under the jail.
just finished asking a woman why they pull Americans over.
I know. But this is the thing. I'd already came through all the TSA, through
Oh no, we
ours.
got into the country with no problem. She forgot she had a purse.
it was
us
leaving
leaving
the country.
And I'm like, yeah, now you know why they pull us over, Amy, because of people like you.
No.
You're our bad example.
And the bad thing is I couldn't even find it in my purse. It was so stuck down in there, I couldn't even hardly get it out. But I
And
tell
this
you what,
wasn't
I
a regular
changed
knife,
purses.
Mr. Glenn. This is a stiletto, spring-loaded, 6-inch blade, like stick it in somebody's gut.
No, I had it because it was one of those things, like if you ever got in a car accident, you had to tap the window. It had the window
had
tapper
a window
on
tapper,
it.
had a
It
seatbelt
went under the
cutter.
water.
It was a
You
lizard
know,
lick
so
knife.
it was a lizard
It
lick
was a
knife.
lizard knife.
So I'll tell you my TSA story.
Uh-oh.
This was, I'm going to say, less than 3 or 4 months after 9/11. And let's see, I was going goose hunting in Texas.
Oh.
And so I was carrying a shotgun with me, which I don't do very often. And I drove to my friend's house, and the whole group, there was about 8 of us that were meeting there. Well, I was helping some guys get their luggage and their guns, and we were all putting it in a van. Well, my buddy took my gun, and he had a hard case to put it in.
Mhm.
I had just a little soft case that I kept my shotgun in. Well, I hadn't ever unloaded the buckshot out of the gun.
Oh, you took a loaded
So
gun.
we're walking into the airport. Wow. I hand the gun over. They open it up. I hand the gun over there. You have to sign all these papers saying that your gun is unloaded. And the guy picks it up, and he looks at it, and it's got a lock on it where the magazine locks. And he puts it back down in the case, shuts it up, sends it on. Well, I, at this point, thought nothing at all about it. I do remember thinking back on it that I did see that little red cartridge in that magazine. And I get to Texas, I get my gun out, I'm getting ready to load me some goose shot, and I go to push the goose shot in. It won't go in. I go, this thing's got buckshot in it.
Wow.
So I guess I would have been under
Oh,
Yes,
you were
absolutely.
the
You have been
jailhouse.
right there with me.
Oh,
I'd,
no.
I'd,
Yes.
I'd have been under the
a
jailhouse.
loaded
Yes.
gun in an airport.
And this, I
And they
still
didn't
can't
catch it.
believe they didn't catch it. I can't believe that I did it, but it was just one of those things that just happened.
A loaded gun in an airport is like
Shotgun.
that's not even. Oh my God!
Wow.
But that was-
Glenn,
Please don't be watching this podcast. Anyone
Wow.
from TSA or any London Heathrow or American Airlines.
Wow, I can't. Well, I just said God takes care of His people.
That's right. He took care of me too.
Because Bridgers Coal and Foreign Supply might not have been in business much longer. Because I'm telling you, right after 9/11, they got to be nasty about them things. Man.
Oh yeah. Oh
we,
yeah.
we,
Well, did you kill any geese?
We did. We killed a few geese.
There you go.
That's all
And,
right.
and we had recently just spread the grounds up at the airport, and they had, snipers sitting up there guarding, and you'd see the people up there with the rifles watching you when you spreading the fertilizer and lime up there.
So I got
That was a long time ago.
I got a buddy that I grew up with, and he has the best job in the world. I'll be honest. If I had another job, I'd want his. They pay him to go around the country and shoot deer at airports.
To do what?
Shoot deer.
Oh shoot. Oh,
Now, you
okay.
can't pick them up. They kill them and leave them where they lay. Unless they're near the runways, they drag them off in the woods or whatever, and then they have a truck come by and get them. But he'll go out there in a day and shoot 30, 40, 50, 60 deer because they're trying to keep them off the runways.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
And he can't pick them up. He can't do nothing with them, but they pay him crazy money.
To just
Because now
kill
you got a
deer.
guy on the airport with a gun, number one,
Mhm.
shooting, number two.
Mhm.
But he has sent me pictures of some bucks he has shot, and I mean they are just. I guarantee you half of them are state records.
Yeah.
But I was like, Bo, if I ever had another job,
That'd be the one.
that I'm telling you, all you do and this is year round. They shoot them year round. Is he goes from airport to airport to airport and shoots deer so they don't run on the runways. I'm like, bruh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The only problem is, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably get fired. Because I
'Cause you wanna
promise
keep
you,
'em.
when I shot that 200 class, somebody's getting hacksawed at nighttime. somebody's going back out after dark and finding that mug. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. But and Glenn's got. I'm gonna tell you now. See, I've been on him. I ain't told
Well, if
you
he's
this.
got soybean, he's got some
Oh
big
no, no, I
deer.
ain't worried about the deer. I ain't. Don't even care about. I've never asked Mr. Glenn could I deer hunt.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Turkey. They got
Turkey.
turkey.
Oh, I can't
my
stand a
God,
turkey.
They got turkey everywhere. Ben got turkey on every farm he farms.
I can't stand
Billy
it.
got turkey.
Except ours.
Except theirs. They ain't got no turkey.
I can't find one.
Yeah, but they got turkey. Like Ben farms some. I'm telling you, Ben farms some land that I'm talking about has some absolute 14-inch beer turkey.
People love the turkey hunt.
I
am
love
not.
the turkey hunt,
I
man.
do not like the turkey. I'm just not. Turkey just drive me crazy.
Well, before me, every guy you dated was a turkey. I can see why.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying, like, you dated some real
Okay.
turkeys.
Okay, buddy.
You dated some real turkeys.
Okay, buddy. Let's not get
So is there any? I know you're talking about traveling stuff. Is there any retirement in your future, or are you just gonna travel and work? You think
guess-
you'll ever stop?
I guess I'll never completely
Yeah.
stop. Working on the farm or working at the store.
I've always heard.
Man's
it-
got to do something.
Well, I've always heard if you stop moving, you stop living.
That's right.
That's what I've always heard growing
That's
up.
right.
When you stop moving, you'll stop living. So, well, anything you want to ask Mr. Glenn, baby?
No, I think we covered it.
I still love the fact that Hindenburg line. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna leave with that one. That's impressive.
What?
The Hindenburg line,
Oh, the Hindenburg
granddaddy.
line.
I mean, really, when I leave this podcast, that's something that just gonna stick with me because that's if you look that up. 'Cause I know you're the young person in the room, but if you look that up, I'm telling you that was
Mm-hmm. I know
worse than
about it.
that was worse than D-Day on Normandy Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they marched an entire army out with just a handful of soldiers, man, like that's unbelievable. And that's the
I mean,
line Glenn
To-
comes from.
to just lay it out there, that's making history.
That
I'm
is-
just saying.
He's part of
That's-
history.
yeah, he's part of history.
Bridger's,
He
the
is.
Bridger's name
Yeah.
is going to be infamous, honestly. I
Yeah.
mean, that's crazy. Before we close, I will tell you, when we were in the UK, I don't know if you were with me that day, but during World War II, we didn't get a lot of our soldiers home. So a lot of them stayed over there.
Yeah, I was there.
And you were with us that day.
Yes.
And the British government carved out a place, I don't know, 20, 40, 60 acres. It's a big place. And they made it American soil.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So they gave America the soil. And all of our soldiers that didn't make it home are buried there.
Mm-hmm.
So when you step into this cemetery, into this memorial, You are standing on American soil in the middle of Britain. And the fact that they had enough love for our soldiers to do that has always just stuck out to me. That they would give us their
It's
soul.
a beautiful place.
Oh, it's unbelievable. If you ever get to England on your travels and you're doing your hiking, you have to go to that cemetery. Because when you step on it, especially with your history, your heart's going to just flutter. It will move you in way. And they have every soldier's name, just like the Vietnam Wall. They have pictures. Every soldier out there, so that the families can go visit them, and they all have graves. So, Mr. Glenn, I appreciate you being on here more than you know, because I know you're not a man that talks a whole lot.
I appreciate you asking.
No, you're like very reserved, so like you don't brag about stuff, even though you have so many stories that we haven't heard today. But if you had to tell the world anything in closing, like if you told them anything, because you talked about your faith, your love, what would you tell our society? If they could have anything in this world, they could have anything in life, what would you tell
I
them?
just have to say, keep the faith, and keep your love for your family. There's nothing more important than those two things, and you have to continue contributing to society in some form. And I choose to do it by farming and running a farm supply store. Everybody's got to make that decision, and hopefully you make one that benefits society as opposed to something that just sucks from it.
So faith, family, and contributions.
There you go.
That's pretty
love
strong.
that.
That's pretty strong. And faith was the first thing to keep the faith. All right, well, that's it for this week's Drop That Boom. If you're in Wendell, if you're at Lizard Lick, you got to go to Bridger's Coal and Farm Supply. We call it Bridger's Coal. Some people call it Bridger's Farm Supply. Letting y'all know, if you need deer corn, that's where Lizard Lick shops. If you need pond coloring, if you need anything for them chickens, Brittany, I know you'll be watching today. There's your chicken feed. I might can even get you a 5% discount after he marks it up 10% because you're kin to me. You probably have to pay an advance fee being related to us. But no, really, if y'all ever come down and you want to see history and you want to see the old railroad track, if you're a history buff, go down to Bridgers, man. It's really, there's a lot of history in that building and a lot of history in that family. So that's it. This week's Drop That Boom.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Drop that boom. Drop